Welcome to Listen to Our Teens. I'm your co-host, Samuel Richardson. Today I'm here with Morgan Jones. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
The topic today is choosing friends. So, do you believe that having friends is important?
I believe having friends is very important. I mean, don't do life alone. You always need somebody beside you to go through obstacles or, certain situations. You need somebody to have fun with. You need, somebody, if you're in a bad situation, you need somebody to comfort you. So I believe having friends is very important.
Yeah, I believe that too because I've always had like a friend everywhere I went because I transferred schools a couple times, and I always had like at least one or two friends that I always could talk to at any moment, and some of them I've never ever stopped talking to, even though I'm not dealing with them anymore. Or like when I say not dealing with them, I mean I hadn't seen them anymore and stuff. Or they moved away. I'm still talking to them, and so I believe having friends is important too. So what do you think are some good characteristics of a good friend?
A good friend, I believe, they should always, I won't say always be happy, they should always show that, they are your friend. They should always, be nice. They should be encouraging. They shouldn't be, the gossiping type or anybody let you down, because, no one that'll just talk down about you or you feel like you can't be yourself around that person. And they should be themselves. Anybody who doesn't have to fake being, somebody else, they're a good friend. There are different types of friends, and there are different types of characteristics depending on which friend you want to talk to. There's the one that you want to always have fun with. There's the one you have deep conversations with. There's one that you just always go out to eat with. So just depending on which friend you have depends on, which, characteristics of them.
Like I always think that I always had this one friend that I didn't have to decide like, okay, I can't do this with this person. I always had this one friend that I could just be myself at all times. Like I had the one that was funny when you said go out to eat with, go out to eat with, have deep conversations with. I always had like one friend that could do all that, and then I had the friends that this one can go with this one, me to this, and this one can. So I always had it set up like that to where I would always have somebody, or multiple people at least, that I can talk to about something or do something with. But can you give an example of how someone showed you being a good friend? Well, showed you that they were a good friend.
It was recently. Well. Okay, I'm going into my 12th grade year. It was going into my 11th grade year. Well, my friend, she was going to a different school. And in my mind, I always think when somebody is moving away that they're kind of not going to deal with you anymore, or, you're not like in a mean way, but you'll gradually get away from, your old friends. And so I was kind of prepared for that. But we were always on Snapchat, and we would, just send pictures back and forth, whatever. And then I remember because she goes to a different school, and she basically introduced me to everybody via Snapchat. It was like she would show me pictures. She was like, well, this is so-and-so, and this is so-and-so, and he goes with this person, but she doesn't like him. And she was just introducing me. So it's funny how I could probably see them in the street and know their name, but I can't say anything because they don't know me. And so in a way, we still have that friendship. And even over the summer, she was like, we have to get together. I'm like, yeah, we should. So even though at the school she's at now is kind of a strict school, she can't, go certain places or whatever at certain times. So even when I was free, she was, and when she was free, I was. So it would seem like we would never get together. But over the summer, we finally linked up, and she just really showed that she was really my friend. I can tell that she was going to be there for a very long time. So that meant a lot to me.
And
well, was there a time that somebody showed you that they were a true friend?
Yeah, it's funny that you said that because that kind of happened with me. I always go to Birmingham during the weekends, and I had a friend that that lived there, and he moved to Huntsville, which is even farther away. That's like 3 hours or something like that. And so I'm like, I'm probably not going to talk to him in a wow. I'm probably not gonna be able to talk to him until he comes to visit his family still in Birmingham. And well, it was funny because we still had each other's phone number, so I'm like, why should I worry? And it's funny that you said that your friend introduced you to her classmates, friends, and stuff. Because he took a picture of everybody in his class, and then like cropped it and showed me this person, told me their name, and basically told me a brief description about each one of them. And then I ended up meeting them later on at this event that we had in his city, and I was like, I recognize this person. Oh, hey! And then she's like, how do you know me? And I'm like, oh, I'm his friend. And then she's like,
so y'all talk about me.
Okay. So, do you consider yourself a good friend?
Don't mean to sound cocky or anything, but I think I'm a very good friend. You know, I'm not the type, like, to give an example, I'm not like the type of, you know, girls that come out, does this dress make me look fat? I'm not gonna be like, well, no, I'm just gonna be like, yeah, you should probably pick another dress. I'm real. I'm just straight out forward. You don't need anybody to beat around the bush, as my mom would say. You know, you need someone who's gonna tell it like it is, and you don't. Cause I mean, well, would you want me to let you walk around looking fat? You know, just go ahead and be not necessarily be blunt. You know, cause sometimes you be too blunt and hurt people's feelings, but just be real. And most of my friends I've had for a very long time, like maybe our parents were friends before we were even born, and then we end up being friends, and we're still friends, and I'm 17 years old. And so, you know, I do consider myself a very good friend, and I try to be the very best I can be, because when you have different friends, you have different personalities that you have to work with. And considering that my profession, I would like to be a psychologist, working with different people and different feelings, it's good for me, and I can genuinely say that I want to be a good friend. And if I'm not, I want you to tell me that I'm, you know, were you being mean, or, you know, just be straightforward with me, just like I am with you. So I do consider myself a good friend.
And I consider myself a good friend. And it's funny that you said that you're like that, because I'm pretty much like that with my friends, and they're like that with me. But sometimes I feel like, well, I don't feel like it, but they do. We feel like we take each other too far. Like, it's like, dude, does this look ugly? Yes. And then they're like, you're mean. And it's like, you asked.
Yeah.
But I mean, I see myself as a good friend. I try to stay. If you ever need help in something, I'll help you.
Yeah, make sure you try to stick with your friends throughout, because you're supposed to have lifetime friends, not necessarily seasonal friends. So I'm not really for the, you know, yeah, you're my friend for this year only because we're in classes together. Like, no, if we switch classes next year, we're still gonna be friends, still see each other in the hallway, and, you know, things like that. So just make sure you stick together, because we all need each other.
Tune in to one of Jackson's newest radio station, WFNH 95.1 FM Radio, Jackson, Mississippi. CEO, founder, and president Deborah Gant. Or visit the radio website at www.3abnradio951.com.
So today I'm here with Solomon Hill and Diamond Fisher. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
So the topic today is choosing friends. Do you believe that having friends is important at all?
I think friends really motivate you to go and try hard. So I think you really need friends to achieve.
You gotta have somebody besides family to have you back at sometimes, because family might not always be there.
So what do you think is a good characteristic of a friend?
I think it's somebody who's loyal, who's positive, who's not going to be always negative, and who's going to be there for you. Not just somebody who piggybacks off of you. Somebody who's there to give you advice. Not someone who doesn't check up on you all the time.
Someone who's trustworthy and who wouldn't hold nothing from you, whether it hurts you or not. and someone who can give good advice when you need it.
And I believe a good characteristic is like someone that is honest with you at all times, no matter how bad. Like if you ask them on their opinion, that you can take it, but you want them to be honest and not just to say what you want them to say. But so how has someone ever showed you showed you that they're friendly?
Somebody, let's see. I had one friend, so supposedly there was rumors going around. He came and told me, even though he thought it hurt me. But it was all a misunderstanding, so it was all good.
I once had a friend who I was in an argument with someone, and they told me not to fight. It's not worth it. It's not worth ruining your reputation for it. So
I've had a friend like both of those that got, like one of them kept me out of trouble, and the other one was telling me if someone said something about me, I'd be like, okay, thanks for telling me, so I need to like kind of, I need to not really give them something else to talk about me and to talk about me. So I'm just like, okay, I need to distance myself away from this person, but thank you for telling me and stuff like that. But how do you determine if they're a bad influence? Like if you have a friend that's a bad influence on you or something?
It's all about their characteristics, what you see in them. If you see them doing the wrong things, probably need to. I mean, it's okay to confront them, but if they're still doing it, kind of start distancing yourself away from them.
I think you should have a friend that's going to motivate you and keep you away from drugs and keep you on the right path, like getting your homework done, not someone who's just always being negative.
So do you consider yourself a good friend?
I think I really do. I think I'm a very loyal person. Like I try to motivate my friends. I try to give them good advice. And I try to keep a smile on their face.
Yeah, I'm a good friend. I respect them. I always ask that they do what's best for them and keep them safe. So, yeah.
So thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having us.
So I am here with my best friend Jeremiah and his sister Janelle Davis, who's like a sister to me. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
So what are some characteristics of a good friend?
So when I think of a good friend, when I look for characteristics of a good friend, I'm basically looking for a happy environment. Like they're happy and the people around them are happy. And happy is in not overexcited and like, jumpy and all, they can be.
Like positive.
But positive, but like, and then something about them has to be interesting and drawing enough for me to want to be friends with them, to want to interact with them. And not just that day or for that project or whatever, but as like continuously come back to that person and considering them as a friend.
And how about you?
Some things that I look in people if I'm choosing for them for a friendship is if they are comfortable being around me, which is one thing. If I enjoy being around them as well, and their encouragement, how they interact with the other people around them, how they treat other people. There's just some other things I look in.
So how do you determine if someone is being a bad influence on you?
Basically, when you first start interacting with that person, it's like how they talk or how they respond to you. I remember trying to get to know a girl from the open event we went to at our local art museum. It was like an overnight teen event, and I got to know this girl, and she was nice at first, getting to know her, but I remember her talking over me a lot. Like, I'll be talking and she'll just be like, okay, I got something to say, so what you're saying isn't really important to me right now. It kind of felt like that. I mean, sometimes people do that unintentionally, but sometimes when they do that, it feels rude.
and or when they're doing things, like they're saying things about people around you, like people who obviously aren't really doing anything rude or stupid or anything, and it's just kind of like, why are you picking on this person that hasn't done anything? So, one of the few things I look at.
How about you?
Most of the time when I'm in an area of new people, I'm looking for someone to be friends with or someone I'm comfortable around, I usually watch how they interact with other people and what they find enjoyment in. So last summer I was in a volunteering program, and they let us explore the museum that we were in, and I watched to see where people went and what they did. So if someone was like, well, let's go do this even though we shouldn't, and then let's like mess around with it like we shouldn't. So those are people who would like show a bad influence, and people who were like, well, let's just explore and have fun, but like not be the crazy children wandering the museum. So those are type of people those are ways that I like separate bad friends versus good friends.
And so imagine if one of your friends ends up going down the wrong road. How would you deal with that?
What do you mean? As in, like, they've already made that decision, or you see them going?
You see them going down the wrong path.
You see them going down the road. So basically, if I have any experience or advice in that situation, because sometimes you don't have that expertise of knowing what to do with that. You have to take it to an adult or someone who knows who knows how to deal with that situation, or been through that situation and know how to get out of it. You just kind of basically, if you know anything about it, you give them the advice you have. And if you need help, or if you feel like that advice wasn't sufficient, you go to an adult, an older friend, or a friend, like I said, a friend who's been through that situation or almost gone down that path, or have been down that path, and kind of get advice from them, and help that person not go down that wrong path.
If I see a friend taking a wrong path, first step I would most likely take is to let them know or give them a hint that this is where you're going, do you want to do that? Because they might not know, they might not recognize that what they're doing might be bad for them, or that they're actually going down that path.
Right.
If they do say that they know they're going down that path, then I probably want to find out why, and then let them know that if that reason is bad or not. But in the end, it is their decision if they're going down that path. So I would let them know, and I would advise them, and I'd give them any help that they wanted. But if they're going down like a bad path, then I would, depending on what the path is, I would both give them what would happen, give them an idea of what would happen to them, and a way to get out of that. And if that doesn't work, I'd take it to an adult so that they could avoid going down that path.
And I never thought about like taking it to an adult. That's actually a good point, because what I would do is first I try to persuade them not to go that wrong path. Like for instance, you're not gonna always have somebody who's been drinking. Let's just say drinking. You're not gonna always have a friend that has gone down that path. So you just try to tell them like, I don't think you should be doing this. It's not healthy for you, or you shouldn't be doing that. And if they ignore you and they just don't listen, I kind of slowly back away, because I'm like, I don't need them to be a bad influence on me. And sometimes it's like somebody that you would never thought would have went down that road, and sometimes you just hold on, but then they end up making like friends that don't like you. And so then all of a sudden it's hard to be around them, and that's when you have to pretty much just like, I can't do anything, it's out of my hands, so you just have to kind of dissociate yourself.
And another thing I think you could do is pray for that friend.
Yes. But thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Tune in to one of Jackson's newest radio station, WFNH 95.1 FM Radio, Jackson, Mississippi. CEO, founder, and president Deborah Gant. Or visit the radio website at www.3abnradio951.com.
So today I'm here with Andrew Bishop. The topic today is choosing new friends. So, do you believe that friends are important?
Yes, to a certain extent, because people always need companionship other than relationships or just their family and whatnot.
Right. I believe that they're important too, because like you should always have somebody that you should always have somebody that can lift you up and help you through something if you need it, and you can help them through too. Which leads me to my next question. What do you think are some good characteristics for a friend?
Definitely a person you can trust, loyalty. Me, I would rather somebody to have some of the same interests as me, so we can kind of relate more. And, yeah, just a good all around person, pretty much.
So how do you know if someone's a bad influence?
I would say by their actions. You don't want somebody that's gonna like go behind your back and nothing like that. You want somebody that's got the same morals as you, good morals in the first place, but the same morals as you, because obviously, if you don't do bad things and party, you don't want a friend that's always doing that, because eventually it's gonna push you towards something that you're not supposed to be doing.
Right, like for me, the bad influence, like you don't need somebody that, in my situation, you don't want someone that will mess up your grades or whatever. You don't want someone that will make you want to sneak out the house or something. Like, you don't want somebody that has those characteristics, because it can mess you up for the rest of your life. Depends, because like for some people, let's say grades, they have great grades, and if you have a friend that just always like, oh, you ain't gotta do this test, or you ain't gotta do your homework, then all of a sudden their grades start slipping and they miss out on some scholarships that they can have, and it's all because they had a bad friend. So I could definitely see that being a problem. But so do you think that you're a good friend?
Yeah, I do. I like to, with my friends, I just like to have fun. I like to make people laugh. I try to help people in any way I can. I'm the type of friend that like people may ask questions or come to with for problems with certain people that I know. So yeah, I just try to be a good influence, be good to them, make them laugh, have fun. Even when I'm not in the best mood myself, I try to uplift people.
Same. It's the exact same for me. I mean, like when it comes to when I'm dealing with friends, I try to uplift them. Even like sometimes I've had to help some of my friends when they feel like horrible. I just have to try to help them, just uplift them. I know it's like I know what's going on. I try to help you. I try to help them out the best way possible, because I know I've been around you for a little bit. Or even if I hadn't, I'll be like, I know that you're not like this. So what's going on? I'll try to figure out what's going on. See if I can help them with it. Sometimes they'll try to ask me some questions, and if I'm able to answer, I will. Or help them out with something, I will. But yeah, so that I could see you're a good friend. I'm a good friend. We're all good friends around here. But thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
So how do you determine if a person is a bad influence?
Well, sometimes you can kind of get blindsided because they're your friend, and you may use the excuse where they're young, they're just a teenager, or she didn't know. But sometimes you have to kind of rein yourself in a little bit, and you're like, well, you can't make the same mistake over and over again, or make bad choices over and over again, and think that it's okay. Well, you have to realize that you don't just stop being their friend because they're making bad decisions, although it seems like the easiest way to go. You have to talk to them. If you're that kind of friend where you can go to them and talk to them, you're like, hey, is everything all right? I'm that kind of friend, and I have those kind of friends where I can go to them and like, you have been acting yourself. Since when did you go to that party and start drinking? Like, things like that. You know your friends, and you know their behaviors. And I don't want to say that anybody, some people they're just bad influences, and you just have to realize that, and you do have to stop dealing with them. But if it comes to that point, well, you're better off without them anyway, because you don't want to get, get by association. You see them with that person, you're like, that's that girl that shoplifted. Ooh, does she shoplift too? You don't want to be that kind of,
You don't want to be the one that everybody's like, oh, that's her friend. So those two keep doing
yeah, you don't want anybody to give you the side eye. But dealing with people who do make bad decisions or whatever, I mean, we're all human. I make bad decisions. I'm sure you do too. And just like, okay, if my friend wants to skip class or whatever, well, I can't just skip class. I'm pretty strict about perfect attendance. So I can't just, skip class or whatever, and, they may go, well, I'm not going to be a snitch and say that they're going to go out, but at the same time, maybe later on, I'm like, did you get in trouble? Because I do want my friends to be on the right track, because, what's that saying? Yeah, it's that saying, you are the company that you keep. I believe that's the saying.
I think that's it.
Yeah, you are the company that you keep. So I want to make sure that my friends are on the right track, just like they want to make sure that I'm on the right track. I mean, like I said, if you make a bad decision every now and then, well, that's all right. Maybe later on we can make fun of that bad decision. But until then, we just have to make sure that we're, you stay in our lane. That's what my grandma always tells me. She said, make sure you stay in your lane, Morgan. I'm like, okay, yes, ma'am.
I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
So just make sure you stay in your lane, and people that are bad influence, just make sure that they don't influence you, because sometimes they can just be a phase in their life.
So as you were saying, sometimes when they're going on the wrong track and they might be going through a phase, sometimes it's okay to stay with them, but of course don't do what they're doing. But it's okay to try to convince them, stop doing this. You might not want to do this. I don't want to get in trouble with you. Try to if they're one of those friends that don't like doing anything alone, and let's say you're their only friend, they'll most likely kind of, I don't need to be doing this. They ain't doing it. They ain't got in trouble.
Don't let them convince
so I don't,
you.
You don't need to be convinced. You need to be the good influence to try to make them, well, not make them, but try to help them get back on the right track. And when they do get back on the right track, then you end up still having a good friend. You didn't lose them, and you helped them out. And then maybe, as you were saying, maybe you'll be joking around later. Yeah, you remember when so and so? No, you remember when you did that? And then they're like, yeah, I'm so glad I stopped doing that. But and let's say they're not good, let's say you can tell it's not a phase, they're just going on the wrong path. Then what I've done is I try to help them out, and then if they but at the same time, kind of backing away at the same time. Yeah. So I try to help them out every time I see them.
Love them from a distance.
Right, and then later on, it's like, okay, I just
by then they have those other friends that are doing bad stuff with them, and then
the other friends don't want you around anyway.
Yeah,
so you just
sometimes things happen that way.
And then later on, they'll be like, why did we lose touch?
Yeah,
well,
if you want to know.
Right. Yes. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.